Muktzah Shabbos regulars, welcome to David Rosenblum, Muktzah Shabbos regular.
So you see how many chutznikim there are, because right now we only have 72. We were over 100 with all the chutznikim. Now you know that there's about 30 chutznikim.
Yeah, it's true. All right, Rabbi Sai. A gute Woche. Don't tell me all the news. I don't want to hear the news yet. What's going on? There's no Eli Nishmas today. Baruch Hashem. Today, let's.
And I'm unmuted, Eli.
Okay. Everybody's muted. Eli
Eli, you're
Nishmas?
good to go.
Do it tomorrow. We'll put up a sign, the whole thing. Today's share is L'Refuas David Rifal David Yecheskel Ben Perel. This is my father-in-law's chavrus in Chicago. A tremendous Talmud Chacham. He went into the ICUs in terrible condition Erev Shabbos. A young guy, but Baruch Hashem, he made some sort of turn. So we're hoping that turn is gonna continue. I'll tell you a little bit of a story, a crazy story, and it's a tremendous Musar Haskell. My father-in-law went to my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is Rosh Hashiva today in the Sivas Aaron. He went to his Rebbe and he said, Rebbe, how come my son is not learning? What's going on? So he looked at my father-in-law and he said, listen, you're a surgeon and you don't do too much learning yourself, so don't complain. What kind of chinuch is it? You want your son to learn, you have to learn. The following morning, my father-in-law went to the kollel and he said, I want a chavrusa. And they gave him David Oppenheimer. And what? Beseder. So Reb David Oppenheimer was my father-in-law's chavrusa for over 25 years. I think they might have missed, 3-4 days in those 25 years. Reb David Oppenheimer would walk every single Shabbos to our house. Every time I'm there, Ben Izmanim, I see him learning with my father-in-law every single day. Shabbos, doesn't matter if there's 3 feet of snow, if it's 120 degrees, he would walk on Shabbos, and during the week, obviously, there's cars and everything, so you should have a refuah shalema b'karayv. His son came from yeshiva, I think, with it. I don't know what happened over there exactly, but the matzah wasn't so good. Be'ezer Hashem will get better. Here's an email. My first time learning Daf Yomi, and I've been enjoying since Brachas Daf Aleph. Where's Dr. Factor? Is he on? So you'll be able to hear me patting myself on my back. What are you complaining about? I cannot wait until I get to be involved with the daf every day. So every day, you can't wait. I'm explaining. Diukim. I grew up in a yeshiva and I've never learned as consistently as I am now, pointed out by my wife in parentheses. Please give thanks, a hug, a kiss to Reb Eli and all those who help. Love the entire chevra. He loves you, Dr. Factor. The entire chevra. It's one of a kind and look forward to the day we can be together in person. That's that. I wish I knew his name. Next one. I really enjoy using the 8-minute daf as a review. Today I listened to the full daf. Enjoy the interaction with those who listen live. I don't know what an interaction is. It's basically me, Avi, Noam, and Gary. Just wanted to point out when you made the Mishaberach L'Chaylim at the end of the shir. Now this is amazing because usually people correct me during the shir and everything. This guy waited all the way until after the shir, and then he corrected me on something that was after the shir. Gevaldik. I made a mishaberach l'chaylam after the shir. Since women are included, the nusach should be l'chol avireyam, l'chol gideyam. Good point. I said l'remach and l'shasa. All right, one more. One more. This one comes from Yirmiyahu Mac, because yesterday just so happens to be, I was talking to the Clifton guys, and I said, where are the Passaic guys? Because Clifton is next to Passaic. So this guy sends me from Passaic. Shalom Aleichem, Rebelli. I'm an occasional on and off listener. These days, I'm more on than off since I've been confined to my home all day. Wow, that's weird. One of a kind guy. Your engaging style and clear presentation of the concepts on each daf make it a truly pleasurable experience. May the schus of teaching Torah Barabim and the resultant Kiddush Hashem, Shem Shamayim, protect you and all the sheer participants, Mikol Tzara V'Tzukah. Question. You mentioned yesterday that all Stefansky are related. Do you know then how you're related to Rav Yaakov Stefansky, Zecher Tzadik Levracha, who was the 10th grade Rebbe in Philly for many years? Kol Tuv, Yirmiyahu Mek. Well, since he's not online, I'm not going to answer the question. All right. Let's learn Teire. Where's my thing? Oh, here it is. Gewaldig. We are holding Daf Chof Ches Koyach Amud Beis. So, quick review. Famous Mishnah we say in Bamei Madlikin. Psilas ha'beget shekipla v'lo yivava. You take a piece of garment and you fold it over and you make a wick out of it, but you didn't singe it before Shabbos. You're not allowed to, Baruch Hashem, wow, we have over 80 people on a Motzi Shabbos at 9 o'clock. So you take this psila and you put it in oil. Are you allowed to use it or not allowed to use it? Machloikas. Rebbe Lezer says you're not allowed to. Kiva says you can. Rebbe Lezer also says it's tamei. Rebbe Kiva says it's not tamei. So we had one explanation so far for both machloikasin, and today we're going to have another explanation on both machloikasin. The other day we had the explanation was, first of all, when it comes to tumah, question is if you take a garment and you fold it up, are you dismissing the garment? Are you saying it's no longer a garment and it's just a wick? And if it's just a wick, it's not tamei. A beged is tamei. A wick is not tamei. Rebbe Lezer says no, just by you taking a beged and folding it up doesn't do anything. It still remains a beged, so it's still tamei. Rebbe Kiva says it's not. Then we had one of the oddest pshatim in Shas. It's a 4-step. You have to believe in 4 things in order for this pshat to take effect. And that was, why are you not allowed to use a wick that was a beged and you fold it up? So the Gemara said, because A, we're talking about a beged that's exactly 3 fingers by 3 fingers, not a millimeter more. B, we're talking about a situation that Yontif falls out on Friday. So now we already have 2 echetimses. 3, we hold like Rabbi Yehuda that says that something that's noilad was born on Yontif, it's muktzah. Can't touch it. Because Rabbi Shimon, we're going to see a lot more of it today, Rabbi Shimon holds that noilad on Yontif, in these cases, is mutter. Okay, so that's 3 things. And a 4th thing, you also have to believe in Ula. Ula holds, now what's the problem? Why do you have to believe in Ula? Because if you just start the fire on the wick, then everything is good. What's wrong with it? So you lit it and it's not muktzah, you walk away. Yeah, but Ula holds, you have to light the entire thing, rubai, the whole thing that's sticking up. So you have to sit there with your candle and make sure that the whole thing catches on fire. But the millisecond you lit it, that's when it becomes noilad. Now it's ruined. It used to be a nice piece of clothing. Now you singed it. That millisecond you singed it, it was born a new birth called a shever kli. But I still have to hold on to my flame because I have to get the whole thing, says Ula. Oh, now I'm not allowed to hold my flame there. It's muktzah. That's the pshat. So I have to believe in 4 things to just understand the pshat. Did anybody think about it while they were davening the Shabbos? Psilas ha'beget shekipla v'lo hivava. Now maybe you understand pshat. You need 4 things. Okay. That's where we left off yesterday. We left off in the middle of a word. It was already 8:08, I think, so I had to stop smack in the middle of a sentence. So let's go weiter.
Most of the Daf Yomi participants are Nusach Spark, so they're saying Kigavner anyways.
Thanks, Avi. Appreciate that one. Naftali, you're a Nusach Sfard? No. Leon, I know Leon. I never asked him this question. I guarantee you, Leon, Davin Nusach Ashkenaz, South Africans, they're all Litvaks. And he's shaking his head, yes. Givaldik. This is Leon from South Africa. My son-in-law came over to the screen. The big screen is not working today. So he's coming. He's going to do this. If you see his nose coming into the picture, don't worry about it. It's my son-in-law.
Check out Leon.
You're going to see Leon. I promise you, Leon's going to come visit us. Be'ezer Hashem. We're going to spend Shabbosim together. It's going to be great. Zog the Gemara. Omer Rav Yosef, we're holding, 5 lines from the bottom. Omer Rav Yosef, Hainu de Tanino, you have to make sure, Mayor, that the screen, the YouTube screen is on and nobody's calling, and if somebody calls, get them off, whatever. Omer Rav Yosef, Hainu de Tanino, Sholish al Sholish mitzumtzamos. Remember, Sholish al Sholish means 3 fingers by 3 fingers. Shloisha al Shloisha means 3 fists by 3 fists. Avi, meanwhile, get Eli on Zoom. I can't do Matzah Shabbos without Eli. So he learned the thing when he was younger, I guess, Rabbi Yosef, that says that there's 3 fingers by 3. Oh, Eli is on. I see Eli. Okay, thanks, Eli.
And we got Betsy Novak also on.
Benzi Novak, Gevaldik. Wow. By the way, Benzi Novak, I want to say Bifnei Kolan Veda. There's nothing like what you and your Chaverim are doing. It's unbelievable. Going out there, being a nurse, being a doctor, Dr. Factor, and all the other doctors. It's unreal. The Mesiras Nefesh, knowing that you are going to get sick. It's not if, it's probably when. And you're doing it and risking your lives and risking everything else just to help Yiddish people and not Yiddish people, whatever. Unbelievable. We can't comprehend what you guys do. It's unbelievable. And the amount of hours that you have to be there and not using masks and using used masks and the whole thing. So tremendous yishkoyach from us and the whole shir and the whole Klal Yisrael. Zog the Gemara. So, says Rav Yosef, I once heard this weird thing about having 3 fingers by something 3 fingers exactly, and I never understood. But now it makes sense. According to this pshat, it's only in a situation where it's exactly 3 fingers, to the point where I singe it, it's less than 3 fingers, it becomes a shever kli, and that's what's going on. Okay. And now I understand. But remember this Rav Yosef, because in the next pshat in the Gemara, we're going to have to understand how Rav Yosef fits in. Says the Gemara in the commentaries, Rav Ada bar Ahava Aliba de Rabbi Yehuda. Now, this whole pshat that we just gave, the 4-step pshat, was Rav Ada bar Ahava. And one of the steps in the 4 steps is that you have to hold like Rabbi Yehuda, that holds noilad is muktzah. I cannot touch it on Yantif. Because if you hold like Rabbi Shimon, you could touch it, then the whole pshat flies out the window. So obviously Rav Ada bar Ahava holds like Rabbi Yehuda. Shema Minok Rabbi Yehuda is really. Umi Omer Rav Ada bar Ahava hachi. Omer Rav Ada bar Ahava. Top of Daf Chavtes Amud Aleph. Nachri shechakak kav bevikas Yisrael mesiko b'yantiv. Here I have another case of noilad on Yantiv, where a guy created a kli, he created a vessel out of my piece of wood. He took my sukkah beam and he made a nice little kli out of it. What is that called? That's called noilad. It's a new creation. The Jew never had in mind that he's going to do something like that. And it's noilad. And you're allowed to use it on Yantiv. You're allowed to cook with it. You're allowed to take it and throw it into the fire and make firewood. That's only according to Reb Shimon. According to Reb Yehuda, that would be a major problem of noilad. So, does Rav Ada bar Ahava hold a Reb Yehuda or he doesn't hold a Reb Yehuda? What's going on? Says the Gemara, the Devrei and the Reb Eliezer, Reb Akiva Kamer Le V'Lei Loi Svir Le. No, he doesn't hold of noilad. He argues with Reb Yehuda, and that's why he says over there that if a guy makes a kli out of a piece of wood, I could use it on Yantif. It's not muktzah. I could pick it up and toss it in the fire. If it would be muktzah, I wouldn't be able to do that. So why is he talking in the sheet of Rabbi Yehuda? Because he's just trying to explain Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Akiva. He says the way to explain Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Akiva in the Mishnah is a 4-step process. One of the steps is Rabbi Yehuda. I don't hold of Rabbi Yehuda, but they must hold like Rabbi Yehuda, and that's how it works. Rava Omar. Now we're going to say a new pshat. Why? Number one, we want to know why you can't use it on Shabbos. According to Rabbi Eliezer, you can't use a wick that was folded from a beged. And number 2, why is it tamei? According to Rabbi Eliezer. Rava says, "Hi in the time of Rabbi Eliezer, we're kind of familiar with this. Says Rava, very simple. You're not allowed to use a wick on Shabbos that's not singed beforehand. You know how like the husbands, they try to help their wives and they start the candles beforehand? It comes from this. There's an inyan to make it easier to light. Because if it's not darkened, if it's not black, if it's not singed, it won't light well. And you might come to fix it on Shabbos. They say nowadays it's not such an issue anymore. Everything lights easy. That's why a lot of us are lazy and we don't help our wives. But that's the inyan. Before we were talking about that if it's 3 and 3, 3 by 3, and it's exactly 3 by 3, and I light it, now it becomes a shever kli. That all fits into the 4-step process. But Rava is just saying something else. Rava is saying I can't light it because it has to be black, dark. What shaykh is the 3 by 3 fingers? Says the Gemara, le'inyan tuma. You're right. It has nothing to do with this concept. It's another halacha that Rav Yosef must have heard that you need 3 by 3 exactly. The snan. We were learning up until now that 3 fingers by 3 fingers is considered a beged. Well, it's considered a beged, but you need a little bit more called a hem, a malal. Why? Because what's the poor person going to do with it? He's going to use it as a patch. I don't know, am I dreaming? I was asking people in my house, they thought I was crazy, but I remember when I was a kid, some kids used to come to school with patches on their pants, by their knees. You remember that stuff? People remember, oh, the older guys are shaking their heads. The younger guys have no idea what I'm talking about. Right? We used to use patches. Not my mother never did that. I used to get hand-me-downs from the neighbors. I had nice pants. But patches? No, seriously, I didn't have patches. But I remember other kids, it's like a cool thing. Some mothers used to put the patches on the pants before they had the hole. Now that's like a whole new level. Anyway, yeah, you remember that? He remembers the shtickle. My kids thought I was crazy when I said it. So what's a poor person going to do with a patch? Now the problem is, Avi Mandel gives you a thumbs up. Shmak, I like the zoom. You can do all sorts of things. Some sport jackets, yeah, have the patch on the corner. You're right, yeah. Fine, but that's like a style thing. I'm talking about like literally, you messed up your pants, you made a hole, and I'm not going to buy you new pants. You're going to wear this patch for the next 6 months. You hear me? So, but a poor person can't take a 3x3 patch and start using it. Why? Because it's going to come undone. So I need you to make a little bit of a hem and make it 3x3. So now it's not 3x3, it's 3x3 plus. So it's machlokes, do I need 3x3 plus? Comes Rav Yosef and says, no, 3x3 exactly. That's the halacha that Rav Yosef heard. You need 3x3 exactly without the hem. By the way, Rabbi Isai, we're just about to finish today's daf. Tomorrow and for the next 4 days, we have Geshmaka, Agadata stuff. So if you enjoy these things, chapa right now. It's all Geshmaka now. It's unbelievable stuff. All right, Rav. So now we're going to see 3 items that are noilad. And it's unbelievable because when you see the Gemara's pshat, it becomes so clear. But as we read it, we can see it's one step more than the other. This is the step that we spoke about before. What does Rav Yehuda in the name of Rav say? And by the way, the Gemara is going to say he never heard it from Rav. He learned it from a story. It's a big difference. He didn't hear Rav say it mefurish. Nevertheless, Omer Rav Yehuda, the famous Talmud of Rav and Shmuel, he says, I heard from Rav the following. Masikim bekelim ve'ei masikim b'shivri kelim. It's also according to Rav Yehuda to use a broken kli on Yontif because it's noilad. It was a whole kli, and now it's not a kli, it's a broken kli. So that it was created on Yontif. I can't use it to Rav Yehuda. Rav Shimon matir. Masikim bitmarim. I could take this date, and use it as firewood. Achalon, but once I eat the fruit part, ein masikim begarinei and divrei Yehuda. So guys, you understand right away, this is a tremendous chiddush. Before I had a kli, and the kli broke. When did it break? On Yontif. So that's a serious noilad. But this, what am I doing? I'm eating the fruit, and I'm going to use the pit inside the fruit. In those days, I guess it was hard to come by the wood, or maybe it burns really well. I'm not exactly sure. But the pit, where's the pit? When did the pit get into my date? The pit was in my date before I bought the date, right? So why is that noilad? It's noilad because I just unpeeled it and I discovered it. I'm extracting it now on Yontif. That's noilad. That's a huge chiddush. Listen to this chiddush. This is even bigger than that. Next step. Masikim be'goizim. Again, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but in my days, as if I'm like 90 years old, but when I was a kid, on Pesach, my parents always had those walnuts, and they had the big walnut cracker. You guys remember that? Nobody knows what I'm talking about, because today they don't even sell that stuff. Yeah, they sell it in the thing. I get it. Fine. I haven't seen it in years. My kids don't even know they think that that's how it grows in the tree. Fine. So, by the way, you know why pistachios, you never see a pistachio nut? You know why? Does anybody know why? I've never in my life seen the shell of pistachio. Not pistachio, I mean the cashew. Sorry, the cashew. Pistachio always. Why not? Why not cashew? Your boys say, you know why? Because it's poison. So they have to extract it for you. That's what I heard. Ayin Sham, maybe somebody should look it up on Google real quickly. That's what I heard. You'll never ever see a cashew shell. Because it has poison in it. They have to take it off you. But anyway, so you take a walnut. A walnut, what is it? It's wood. So I could use this wood as a fire. No, it's noilad. Why? Because today it's not wood. Today it's protecting the nut inside. Once I take the wood, what does it say over there? Yeah, it says it turns out that cashew shell is toxic. That's what Mati Mitteldorf sagt. Okay, Remati Shkoyach. So this is a small chiddush compared to a walnut, right? The walnut, you could see the wood. You actually see it. It's extracted, but you're not going to use it. In your mind, you're not using it. You bought it to use the nut. Once you take the nut out, all of a sudden now it turns into firewood. That's called noilad. Let's see inside. Masikim be goizim acholon. Once you eat it, masikim miklibus. Then you cannot use the shell. Divi Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Shimon Mater utzricha. So now the Gemara goes through everything we just said. Diashmina kamaisa. If I just say the first case of a pot, that makes the most sense. I have a beautiful kli. On Yontif, as Yontif came in, it was a kli. And then I broke the kli somehow. I burnt it, I broke it. So that's a real, true noilad on Yontif. But a date which has the pit, it's born with the pit, nothing changed. You didn't create a new pit. A meshapir dami, I would think perhaps it's not noilad. And then the next step, viashmin garinin, and if you'll say only the case of a date, okay, it was covered. It makes a lot of sense. It was covered, so you didn't really see it, and now you uncovered it on Yontif. So now you created a noilad. That's a nice noilad. But a walnut or any other type of nut, the wood part, the burning part, the flammable part is exposed. Maybe it's not noilad. Says the Gemara. Rav never said this over to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda understood this on his own from a story. The Rav ochal tamru shodo kashyasa lebuchya. Rav one day was eating on a weekday, on a Tuesday afternoon. He was eating a date, and he took the pit and he threw it into the fire pit. Omer Reb Chia. Who's Reb Chia? He's his uncle, right? We had it a few times, his uncle. And who was Rav's father and mother? Reb Chia's brother and sister. Remember? Remember everybody like, what? A brother? No, he's saying not. Avi, it's not. It's a brother from a different...
I just don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember? We just had it in brachas. Okay. They weren't related. They were allowed to get married. They were from different parents, but Reb Chia was in the middle. Reb Chia had a half sister and half brother that got married, and they had Rav. So he's telling Rav, Bar Pchasi, you come from special people, from Gdolim. I know your brother. I know your father. He happens to be my brother. Bar Pchasi, Kenegde B'Yantav Aser. By the way, so he's giving like a little lesson to his nephew. What you just did, you tossing that pit into the fire, is Asr on Yantiv. Why would it be Asr on Yantiv? Because what you're holding in your hand is muktzah. You shouldn't be touching it. Don't be touching muktzah and throwing stuff into the oven. Says the Gemara, Kibla minei, oiloi kibla minei. Did Rav agree or not? He didn't say anything. Tashma, I'll prove to you that he did not agree with his uncle. The Chiyasa Rav leBavel, when Rav came down to Bavel, Achol Tamrei on Yontif. Now this is not the weekday, this is a Yontif. He took a pit, he tossed the pit towards his animal, to an animal. So what do you see? You see that he held that it's not noilad. That's why he took it, he held it, he touched muktzah, and threw it to his animals. Says the Gemara, my love, Beparsiyoso. L'chayr, we're talking about really good dates. Now, let me show you. I have a date. I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm going to open it up for a second. Oh, this is shvacha quality. Maybe not. I don't know. Here you go. You decide. No, this is pretty good quality. You see? What do you see on the pit? Nothing. It came off clean. Came out clean. Here's the date. It just came out. So that's called a parsiyasa. That's a really nice date, high quality, so that the fruit separates from the pit easily. So memela, perhaps it was pure firewood with no fruit on it, and the fact that he tossed it into the fire to the animal, it shows that he held that it's not muktzah, and he didn't accept his uncle's pshat. Loy, Armiyasa is inferior quality. The mother of this pit is what? Is fruit. So the pit still has some fruit, so it's not considered, it's not a piece of wood. He viewed the pit like fruit. So fruit, you're allowed to toss in animal fruit. That's not a problem. If it's your animal, whatever. So that's the pshat. So don't bring me a raya one way or another. It's possible that that pit was muktzah. It's possible it's not muktzah. It's possible he held like Rav Yehuda, didn't hold like Rav Yehuda. I don't know. Although we know the Gemara didn't bring down that Rav himself does hold like Rav Yehuda and muktzah. Amalei Rav Shmuel bar. You remember we just had it a few daf ago. Rav and Shmuel, one holds like Rav held like Rav Yehuda, another one held like Rav Shimon. Amalei Rav Shmuel bar Rav Chana Rav Yosef Rav Yehuda Damar Masigim Kelim Masigim Shiver Kelim. So Rav Shmuel.
The mandam was told that it's no what. But he said you couldn't eat a date on Shabbos. You're not using it for firewood.
Well, what? Since it's, I heard what you said. Say again.
According to the Manda Omar, he says that it's no lot if you open the date on Shabbos.
Yeah.
For firewood. If you're not using it for firewood, could you eat the date?
Of course, the date obviously is fruit. Fruit is not muktzah. This is the pit you have to put down right away. You can't pick it up later on and use it for something else. No?
Okay.
Dates? No, it's like any other food. Yeah, you're eating a watermelon, whatever you're eating, and you have those pits. Those pits are muktzah. You have no purpose for it. Pits are muktzah, right? Over here you're talking about noilad. That's something else. The pit has a purpose. You could feed it to an animal, but it's muktzah of noilad. You just discover it now. Says the Gemara, Omar le Rav Shmuel bar Chana le Rav Yosef. Very nice question here. According to Rabbi Yehuda, that I could use pots, I could use utensils, wooden utensils for my firewood. But if they're broken, they broke on Shabbat, on Yontif, they're noilad and they can't. Says a chap, Rav Shmuel. Anytime I have a whole kli, it becomes a broken kli as soon as I put it into the fire. Because once it starts burning, it's no longer a full kli. And if so, it becomes muktzah. And if it's muktzah, how do I mix it up? So the Gemara understands that that's pashat, I can mix it up on Yontif, it's not a problem. For whatever reason, I can mix it. But how? How does he mix it? It's muktzah. David ki Rav Masno, we must say that he does like Rav Masno. Rav Masno Merav. Eitzim shenoshrim in adekel l'taner b'yontiv. The guy is lucky. He has you remember that picture of the taner? It's like a box, open box from the top. You put a kli on top. A branch from a tree falls off the tree on Yontif. Now that branch is noilad because on Yontif was part of a tree. Now it broke off of the tree, so I can't touch that branch. It's not like my other branches that I'm using on Yontif for firewood, and it fell into my oven. Can I use that branch? Says the Gemara, I do what is called a bittul b'roiv, and I have wood in there. I add more wood, whatever. They go into it. Are you allowed to be battle b'roiv? Not be battle b'roiv on purpose, not on purpose. The point is, I do bittul b'roiv. I have non-muktzah wood that I don't care now about my muktzah wood. So too, in our case, when he uses his utensil that was a kli and it became noilad and yantiv, I have additional wood. If it's just that kli, you're right, it would be a big problem of touching that after I make it a shever kli. So I might be able to burn it, but I can't. But Rav Moshe Feinstein, I think, proves from here That's exactly it. I wouldn't be able to use it and use it fire because you must stoke it. And from the fact that I could use it, that shows me that I could stoke it. But why could I stoke it? Because I have other wood. I have non-noilad wood, I have non-muktzah wood, and memela, they're batal b'roiv. There's a batal b'roiv even for my utensil. Yeah, no, 51% to 49%. Zog the Gemara. Now, before we had, well, that was really a big shot in why we can't light the candle, why it's also to light a candle. Now we have another nice pshat in Tumah. A new pshat in Tumah. The first pshat in Tumah was, Rabbi Isai, if I take a beged and I fold it, do I get rid of the name beged? By me folding it into a wick, now it's called a wick, and before it's called a beged, and that removes the Tumah. And according to Rabbi Lezer, it doesn't remove the Tumah. New pshat. Rav Amnuna Amar, Hacha bepachis mishleisha shleisha askinon. Umekulei matloni shanukan. So let me just tell you the sugya balpeh. It goes on and on. I'll tell you very simple. We're talking about a guy that makes a shmata. You all know what a shmata is, right? A rag. Now, I don't know. Some people don't use that word. I don't know. You had a beged. You have a beged. I'm looking at the screen instead of at the camera. Whatever. It's a problem. You have a beged that's a beged. Now I decided one day I don't want my beged. I don't want my garment. I want to take my garment. I want to make it into a rag. What do I want to do with it? I want to use this rag to stuff a hole in my barrel. I want to use the rag to hold the hapat. I want to use the rag to clean my counter. So it's a rag. Then I took the rag. Now listen to this. It's three very simple things. If I take the rag and I fold it up nicely and I put it in a drawer, that's a box, that's a kufsa. According to everybody, what did I just show? That I like my rag. It's a good rag. So it's not going to lose its name beged. It's going to remain tameh. A beged is tameh, can become tameh. If I take my rag and I could say all day long, this is a rag, but the fact is I just treated it like my clothing, even nicer than my clothing, because some of my clothing goes on the floor, and this one goes in a nice shelf. It goes in a box. So memela, it's chashuv. If I take my rag and I throw it in the garbage can, in the ashpa, according to everybody, what does that show me? I don't want it. And if I don't want it, it's not tameh anymore. So there's going to be machlokes in our Mishnah between Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Akiva in a situation which is in between a box and a garbage can. That's called a peg. If I hang it up on my door, on the front part of my door where I have a peg, or I flip it on the other side of the door, which is a madrega less, one step below, that's a machlokes. According to Rabbi Lezer, that shows I still like my rag, and I still consider it a beged. According to Rabbi Akiva, that's like going into the garbage can. It's nothing. So let's see inside. Just the Gemara goes through, it becomes slightly confusing, but that's the basic idea here. Matlanis is a shmata, is a rag. I'm talking about taking a beged and making it a rag. And this is the machlokes. The guy decided to take his nice suit, his Armani suit, and make it a shmata lifkik boy es hamerchatz, to use it as a stopper, as one of those plugs for his bathtub. Ulanara boy es hagdeira, and to lift up the hapat. Ulanayach boy es arichayim. He had some mill that he grinds his matzah meal now. Everybody has this hand thing. So he went and used the shmata to clean it off. Whether it's to be prepared or not to be prepared, it's tameh. So the Gemara is going to explain much better what these words are. Regardless, it's tar. Wait, don't worry, we're going to explain everything here. It's all tar. Here goes. They say in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Hakol moedim zarku b'ash v'divrei kol tar. There's no machlokes. All three, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Eliezer, and Rabbi Yeshua, they all hold if you throw it into the garbage can, tar. Why? Because I just took my beged and I announced to the world it's garbage. Garbage is tar. Daf Chav Tes Amud Beis. Hini choy bekufsa. If I take it and I put it in a nice box, dirakol tomei. So then, according to everybody, it's tomei. Lo nechliku ela shetloi b'magoid. If he hung it up on a peg, or shenichol la'achar edelos, we threw it behind the door. You know, like what you do, you towel. You put it behind the door. Oy vey. Hold on. Where's? Oh no, it's here. It's here. Okay, fine. No, I lost my my clip, but it's here. Somehow it's here. Okay, good. Rebbe Lezer Savar, Midloi Zarker Ba'ashba Daiti Lovei. Rebbe Lezer holds it remains Tomei. Why is it Tomei? Because I didn't throw it in the garbage can. I hung it on my door. Why am I hanging it on my door? Because I like it. I want it. My Karle Shaloi Ben Amuchan. So before on the Manal, if he was saying about not being prepared, Gabi Kuf Lav Muchanu. There's the stages here. If I take it and I fold it up nicely and put it in my drawer, that's the most prepared possible. That means I want it. If I put it in my door, compared to putting it in my shelf, it's loy muchan. But in fact, it's muchan. You hear what's going on here? I want it. It's muchan. So why is Rabbi Eliezer using a funny language saying it's not muchan? Because everything is relative. So relative to a person treating it with a lot of respect and putting it in his drawer, it's not muchan. Since he didn't put it inside a box, so he decided he doesn't want it anymore. It's no longer a beged. He's mevatel from a beged, and mevatel from a beged, it's not mekabel tumah. So why in the world is Rabbi Yeshua saying on something that he doesn't want and it's not tom anymore? He's calling it muchan. It's prepared, but it's not prepared. It's garbage. The gabi ashpa muchanu. It's just a funny way of saying it. The bottom line is, Rabbi Yeshua holds it's not muchan. So why do you say muchan? Because he didn't throw it in the garbage. He kept it on his door. Why is he keeping it on his door? Compared to the garbage, it's considered muchan. Fine. What does Rabbi Kiva hold? We don't care about Rabbi Yeshua so much. We care about Rabbi Kiva. Because our mission is Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Kiva. Nothing to do with Rabbi Yeshua. So Gemara explains, Rabbi Kiva magud savak Rabbi Eliezer. So the Gemara starts off saying that Rabbi Kiva is going to make an afkamina between putting on a peg and tossing it over the door, on the other side of the door. The other side of the door is one step less, and that Rabbi Kiva is going to admit to Rabbi Yeshua that it's not considered a beged. But then the Gemara says it's not true. So what's the first step? Rabbi Kiva magoid. If he takes nice care of it, he puts it on a hook, on a peg. Sovak Rabbi Eliezer, that's considered a beged. He's machshavit, so it's mekabel tumah. If he tosses it behind the door, Sovak Rabbi Yeshua, that he doesn't care about it. Otherwise, he'd put it nicely on a hanger, on a peg. He doesn't care about it. It's not a beged, and he's mevatel. Says the Gemara, no. And at the end of the day, Rabbi Kiva holds like Rabbi Yeshua and everything. Doesn't matter if he puts it on a peg or throws it behind the door. The beged is not a beged anymore. He showed he doesn't want it. And if he doesn't want it, it's not mekabel tumah. And that explains Rabbi Kiva in the Mishnah. He says, not mekabel tumah. Rabbi Eliezer says, this thing is mekabel tumah because he wants it. Mimai, how do you know that Rabbi Kiva took it back and he holds like Rabbi Yeshua and everything? Amar Rava, midiktoni psilas ha-beged. So now the Gemara just uses a grammatical chap over here, because the Mishnah uses a lashon psilas ha-beged. Ma'ir the toni psilas ha-beged. In other words, you could understand that it's still somewhat of a beged. Listening psila shel beged, that it came from a cloth, that it's not a beged right now. Says Gemara, my psilas ha-beged that dayin begedu. From the fact, Rabbi Kiva says, from the fact that he hung it up on this peg, he's showing that it's still a beged somewhat. But Rabbi Kiva says, no, it's not a beged. Zok the Mishnah. Yeah, so the whole case in the Mishnah is talking about a shmata, a beged. It started out as a beged. He had a nice piece of cloth, and he decided that he doesn't want it anymore. It says in the beginning, no, that it was shloisha. It was, so just to point out, we're talking about a beged that was above shalosh, between shalosh and shloisha, right underneath shloisha, but above shalosh. More than 3 fingers, but less than 3 tvachim. It was more than 3 tvachim, then it would be a beged anyways. And he decided in his head to use it as a shmata. but not stam. Talking about a shmata, this is a very complicated Mishnah. He's talking about a shmata that he hung up on a peg, but he didn't put in a drawer, because he put it in a drawer, then he for sure wants it. He threw it in the garbage, and he doesn't want it. He put it in the peg or over the door, then Rabbi Eliezer says that it's Tomei still, it remains a beged. Rabbi Kiva says it's not a beged. It says in the Mishnah. Lo yikav adam shuf. Yeah?
It's almost like the custom suit that comes back from the dry cleaner with the holes in the back of the suit.
What do you do with that?
You might have to just stuff it in a peg, in a hole.
I can't. It has my daughter, my son-in-law's name in my collar. Right? It's like Davish Bigdusha. So here's what's going on here. This is actually from, it might be too big, but you see what's going on here a little bit. This is the lantern. This is like the, made out of earthenware. And over here is a nice glass thing full of oil. So this shows that they're connected. But imagine if this was higher up and there's a drip of oil that just goes in constantly into the bottom part. Halachically, if I were to remove any oil from the top part, I'm over mechaba. Why? Because as is, this is supposed to light for 5 hours. I just made it light for 4 hours. Mechaba. So says the Mishnah, don't take an egg and fill it up with oil and make a tiny hole in the bottom and hang it over your bowl. And now you're going to have Yimalena Shemen. You fill it up with oil, and now you're putting it right above your flame. Now it's going to drip every whatever, like an hourglass, right, David? Like an hourglass. Now, why is this asur? It's asur because what happens if you do so, you're oiva mechaba. So I'm concerned that you're not going to realize, if you didn't know this halacha, or you're not paying attention, you think, hey, these two things are separate. One is my candle, and one is a source of oil, but they're not connected. So there's an outside source streaming oil into my candle. So if I take some, big deal. Everybody understands that if the oil is inside my bowl, obviously I can't take from there. That everybody gets. But it's above. It's not attached. It's just going in. Big deal. So I don't want people to make that mistake. So Memela, I say it's asur. Now the Mishnah adds on, even if it's made out of earthenware, cheres. Cheres is disgusting. Imagine those days, it's full of ashes and who knows what. It's a black, dark, hard to clean. So I'm not on Shabbos, I'm not crazy to take oil from that disgusting thing. I'm just going to let it drip and finish dripping. No, even if it's disgusting, I have to be geyser on you. The matir, yeah.
The Adam says they need a reminder what an egg looks like.
Very good.
Yeah. Who?
Abe Newman.
Who's Abe Newman?
I know he's on.
Shalom Aleichem, Abe Newman. Anyway, but wow, it's unbelievable. And on Motzei Shabbos, our boy side, seriously, everybody should pat himself on the back. We're sitting here in very good, Shkoyach Rabbi Yosef Herman. We're sitting here, we're learning Torah. There's people dying, there's people sick. We're forgetting about everything, and we're focusing on Torah. And by the way, Noam Yishkoyach, I didn't realize you were there, and I was going to tell Avi, I wish Noam was here, because he keeps on hacking. I was like, I need another guy to hack. Yishkoyach for being on here, because you're usually not on Motzei Shabbos guy, but now I know that you're for real. All the times you don't come on Motzei Shabbos, I'm meichel you, because now that you're in Corona, you came, you're showing me that the reason why you don't come is because you really can't come. Gishmak. Okay. Next. Review the matter, review says it's okay. So yeah, I wanted to make like an experiment and take the egg, and I said, what am I crazy? I'm going to use $45 worth of an egg? No way. No, but David from Los Angeles sent me the whole PDF file from the Rav Steinsaltz, and he got permission from him to use all his pictures, so Mela, I can use this stuff. This is from Steinsaltz. I went online, I couldn't find it. Yeah?
Do you remember the guy who sold you the Ketores? In his museum, he takes the ostrich egg and he puts it on the container. That's what he was talking about. You remember that?
No, but me and my kids, you're talking about an ostrich, my kids and I, we went to the biblical zoo in Yerushalayim, and we saw an ostrich lay an egg, and then the ostrich ate its own egg. We saw that. But what shaykh is, I don't know. But you said that the ostrich, that in the biblical zoo in Bar Park, nobody should go there. I put it in Cherem. Avi, you weren't there when I said a whole thing about you. He uses your story that your house almost burned down, and he's shaking his head. It's you. But when I said the story, you weren't at the shir that day. So one day we'll have to go through that story again. I don't want to talk Lashon Hara now. There are a lot of people that need a refuah. L'schus that, I'm not going to say the story. Zok the Gemara. Says the Mishnah.
By the way,
Yeah.
it's your cousin's birthday today. John Stefansky's birthday.
Oh, Mazel Tov Jonathan. What, 40? How old is he? Zok the Gemara. Says the Mishnah. Avle mechibra yoytzer mitchila. If you do this, this is kosher. Why? Because it's one kli. The whole point is you can't have it hanging. I don't know how you do it. It would be very cool to see a device like that. Hanging an egg by some sort of device, dripping into the bowl below. But this is motor because it's one piece. No one is going to make a mistake. There's no difference between this or a bowl. No one's going to take oil out of a bowl, out of your leichter. You know that's mechaba. So two nobody's going to take out of this device even though it's above, dripping in. Fine. Same exact idea, but a different case. Two bowls side by side with a long wick going from one bowl to the other. So one bowl is feeding the other bowl oil. So if you were to take out from any of the bowls oil, you're over mechaba. So it should draw oil. We need all three cases. What are the three cases? An egg, earthenware above, and now this third case of two bowls side by side. Maybe that's where Rabbanan say that it is asur. The kivin deloimi isa asur this tapukimine. Egg is nice and clean inside, so you might come to use it. It makes sense. But earthenware the isa, that's disgusting. The Rabbi Yehuda they say it's mutter. So just say the case of earthenware. But in the case where it's nice and clean, everybody will agree to Rabbanan that it's asur. Maybe you'll say those two cases and not say the case of the bowl. The mifsaka, it goes right above. There's no hefsek between, but side by side they're separate. Maybe he'll agree with Rabbanan that it's asur. Fine. We need all three cases. But if you created it like that, if you have a nice kli, one above the other, like in this picture, it's a beautiful picture. I don't know where he got it from. Almost, maybe he made it. Yeah, a nice jar above a candle below. If it's created like that, it's mutter. Tana, imchiber besid ubecharsis. What if you did it yourself? You took some glue and some cement and you put it together. Mutter. Oh, vanan yotzitnan. It seems like that's how it was created from day one. My yotzer ken yotzer, meaning that you know the difference. You know not to take from it. Doesn't matter if it was created like that from the factory or you retrofitted it later. It's all the same idea. Tanya Omer Rabbi Yehuda Pamachas says Rabbi Yehuda. I'm getting excited. Look what's going on here in Daf Lamed. See what's going on here? Story time. David HaMelech, geschmack stuff. Omar Rabbi Yehuda, Pamachas Shabbasnu Ba'aliyas Beis Nitza Beloid. I was once spending Shabbos in an attic in Beis Nitza, in Lloyd. Ve'viu lanu shveifer shel beitza. They gave us an egg. I guess it was a thing in those days. Umelanua shemen. I filled up the egg with oil. Exactly what the Mishnah says, don't do, I did. I made a small hole in the bottom. I guess what happened was they gave him an egg with a larger hole on top. So he was able to fill it up with oil, but he made the bottom hole, the small hole, that should start dripping. Otherwise, it says it didn't say he gave him an egg. It says he gave them a shveifer shel beitza. I'm just making a diuk here. Shveifer shel beitza means it's already, it's an eggshell. It could take oil. So then, what does it mean? He made a hole in it because it had one hole. He had to make the second hole. Look, nobody said a word to me. You see, it's a good thing. I could do it. Amr loy misham raya shani beis nitza. This reasoning. Those people in beis nitza are different. They're careful. So what if they're careful? What? So every place, everything is different. Okay. Says the Gemara. Ovin tzipayra. By the way, it's the only time in Shas he's mentioned. Gorar savsola bilisa desheisha. He dragged a bench in the attic where, like in our days, what's the floor made out of? Nice tile. It was a tiled floor made out of marble. Here's a picture of a guy dragging a bench. This is from Rabbi Chade's book. We have permission for that too. So here's a guy dragging a bench. What's the problem dragging a bench? He might do charisha, he might make a guma, he'll make a little bit of a groove here. So, it's davar she'eino miskaven. He doesn't want to make this groove. It's not his kavanah to do so. And as we said, we already explained, it has to be that it's not a psik ratio. It's not 100% going to happen. It could happen, it's likely it's not going to happen or not, whatever. But it's not 100% going to happen. Reb Shimon says it's okay. He went up and dragged, like in our days, could I push my couch across the floor on Shabbos? There's no dirt. I'm not going to make a guma. So what's the problem? The problem is, what if I'm going to drag my couch in my backyard? Sloy plug. Yeah, Avi's shaking his head because this couch moves all day long, moving it from here to there. One of my kids was bored today. He took the couch and brought it all the way into the kitchen, by the kitchen sink. Stam for shtick. Quarantine time. Yeah, Garis Hafsalah be Lisa the Sheisha Le'elam Rabbi Yitzchak ben Elazar, right in front of Rabbi Yitzchak ben Elazar's face. Omerlei Isha Tukilach. If I'm quiet, Kidishtiku Le Chavraya Rabbi Yehuda. Remember that story that Rabbi Yehuda took an egg and used it. It was dripping oil, and nobody said a word to him. Rabbi Tarfon was quiet, and Rabbi Yehuda was all excited. If I do the same thing, Navik b'nei Churba, it's going to be a disaster. Gzeira Elisa the Sheisha. Otu Elisa de Alma. People might confuse it. Now, pay attention to Tosfos over here. Tap Tosfos. Sprinkle water. So in those days, remember, in those days, they didn't have like we have these tiles. They had dirt. They had, I don't know what underfloor. So they would try to get the dust down. They'd sprinkle some water. So Tosfos, the first time, over there, the whole problem is to straighten it out. There's a problem. We don't have. So Tosfos says that if your city, so I'm asking you a question, why am I bringing this Tosfos? How do we sweep our floors? How do we do certain things on Shabbos? Because in our floors, we have beautiful tile. It's not a problem. Okay, but the Arabs in Gaza don't have. Says Tosfos, if your entire city is a certain way, then there's no loy plug. What was the problem over there? That he's going to drag his bench in the attic. It has marble, but everybody else doesn't have marble. You have to be geyser for everybody else. Okay, but that's because everybody else really didn't have marble. But in our day and age, where everybody has tile on the floor, so there's not a problem. You don't have to make exeris, says Tosfos. That's how we get these kind of halachas. That in our day it's different. What's different? Because there's no issue of loy plug now. Another story. Reish Knishta de Batzro Gar Safsala Le'ela Merab Yirmeh Rabba. So now we have 2 or 3 shittas here about this whole dragging a bench. We took it for granted. We didn't think about it. What kind of bench are you talking about? Yeah, what?
Why aren't we cautious for Ashway Gumois on the robber in between the tiles?
I don't know, but why? Your roba is coming apart like that?
I'm saying, why don't we have that?
Everybody
has a robber and it definitely can come out.
Nah. That's a really vaita chashash. It's not dirt. You're talking about Shvuya Guris. Mamish making to take a deep hole. I'm looking around. I don't have Shvuya Guris. Maybe in the New Beis Medrash they did a shvacha job there. I don't know. Your house and my house are made by the same contractor. I don't see the issue here.
Well, there's definitely no roba in the walls in our building.
Yeah, so there's no Ashriya Gumas in the buildings, yeah, on the walls. Okay, but nobody understands our private joke here. Fine. If you live in Diamond Heights, and there's only 10 of us that live in Diamond Heights, here, fine. Okay, says the Gemara. So, what do we have here? What kind of bench?
The other one is in no rush to finish this year, because then they have to help their wives. Don't worry about it.
That's a good idea. He's saying that it's Erev Pesach. All the wives want to turn over the kitchen. So you guys just say, listen, the shear went very long tonight. It's a 2.5 hour shear. And you all potter. We'll do it tomorrow. It's a very tough daf. Tomorrow's daf. Oi. Eli said it's going to be really, really tough. It's one of those, I can't explain to you right now what I got this. But listen, it's going to be a 2-3 hour thing. So, Akobana, think about this for a second. Logically speaking, what would you say would be mutter according to Reb Shimon? He says you're allowed to drag a bench. Was he talking about a very heavy bench or a very light bench? If you had to make a difference, if I told you there's a difference between light and heavy, which one would you say? He says mutter. What do you say, Mayor? Light or heavy? What's mutter? Light is mutter? Why? My daughter says light is mutter. This is my daughter. Why?
Whatever you think is going to be mutter.
She says because it's a trick question. Fine. Yes, you are right. Light is mutter, heavy. No, you're wrong. Says the Gemara. No, the opposite. You know why light is usher and mutter? I'll explain to you, Eliza. Because light, you could pick it up and bring it somewhere else. You have no business dragging it. Reb Shimon said in a situation where I can't drag it, then it's mutter. Let's see inside. Reish Kanishta, right, I can't pick it up. Reish Kanishta Batzro, Garas Hafsala Le'elo Me Reb Yirmiyah Rabba. Right in front of Rabbi Yirmiyah. Amalei Keman Rabbi Shimon. You hold like Rabbi Shimon that you're allowed to drag a bench on Shabbos. Hey, Madam Rabbi Shimon, Big Doilim, Deloy Evshar. Biktanim Yomar. Rabbi Shimon gave his heter on a heavy bench. Right? It's a little bit different than what you would think, I think. On a large bench, he gave a heter because Evshar. So it's a concept of Evshar. Since it's difficult for you, so I gave you a heter. But why are you being lazy on Shabbos, dragging where you could come to make a guma? Lift it up, pick it up, and be a bench. Says the Gemara, however, there's another shita that says not like that. The machlokes in Rabbi Yehuda and Reb Shimon is when it's very small. Reb Shimon says it's mutter to carry a small one, a light one. Says unbelievable that even Rabbi Yehuda admits that a heavy one is mutter. You hear this? Even Rabbi Yehuda, there's no machlokes in heavy. Heavy kula alma according to Ula is mutter. Matzah Rav Yosef. But wait a minute. It says in the Mishnah 3 items. Mita, a bed. Kisei, light. Safsel. What's going on here? It doesn't work out. It's everything. Large and light. Nothing makes sense here. Kasha tarvayu. Says the Gemara, Ula metaris tamei, Rabbi Yirmiyah Rabba metaris tamei. Ula metaris tamei mita dumya the kisa. You have to say that the bed is very light, like a chair. Rabbi Yirmiyah Rabba metaris tamei, kisa dumya the mita. The opposite. It's a really heavy. It's like kisa shel Eliyahu or something. A very, very heavy chair. Now here, listen to this beautiful kasha. Masav Rabba, and with this we're going to finish today. We'll go up to the Mishnah tomorrow. We'll go with the Mishnah. Masav Rabba, moichrik sus moichrim kedarkon. It's beautiful halacha. A guy that sells clothing from city to city, he's walking around. It's hot outside. It's raining outside. He schleps these garments wherever he goes, and he's selling them. The problem is that he has shatnez. Could he put it on him? Could he wear it like this? Could he put it on his shoulder? The halacha is, as long as he doesn't use it to shade himself from the elements, from the rain and the heat, then it's okay. Because it's not a levisha. The Torah says you're not allowed to wear it. Putting it on you like that is not a levisha. You're trying to show your begadim to other people to sell it and not to protect yourself. That's mutter. However, says the Gemara, the halacha is vatznuin. But if a person is a tzaddik, he's a chassid, mafshilin b'makal achareim, he would stay away from this. He doesn't want people to start accusing him of wearing shatnez, so he puts it on a stick on his shoulder. This guy could, if he wants, he doesn't have to put it on his shoulder. He can use a stick. He's lazy. So why doesn't this have halacha like a light chair? And a light chair, Rabbi Yirmi says, Rabbi Shimon holds is also to drag because you have a way out. Anytime you have a way out of it, it's efshar. You don't have to be over and drag. It's very light. Just pick it up with your pinky and move it away. No, you're not allowed to do it. So how come this guy that's selling begadim, he has a very simple aid, so he can take a stick and put it on his stick. V'chiloi miskavin shori Reb Shimon lechatchila tiyufta Reb Yehuda Rabba tiyufta. So that's a bam kasha on Reb Yirmiyah Rabba. Reb Yirmiyah Rabba. The boys side tomorrow morning 7:15. And now whoever wants to stick around, we'll say a kapitel Tehillim, and I'll have in mind for Rafal W. Cheskel Ben Peril. Yeah, that one you can turn off. I don't have a siddur. Maybe you could grab me a siddur, please, from over there. Shir Hamalois Mimamakim Kosicho Adonai Adonai Shema Bekorli